Yes, dear viewers, let's resume our discussion from where we last stopped. Debbie Ford, an esteemed specialist in shadow studies, explains that the crux of this discipline lies in recognizing that our identity is shaped by our observations and interpretations. She claims that when the bravery of someone else serves as an inspiration, it reflects the bravery that lies within yourself. Moreover, if you are certain that a person is driven by selfish motives, it implies that you harbor the potential for equal levels of selfishness. Even though we may not always show it, each one of us possesses the capacity to demonstrate all the qualities we observe. In the holographic world, all human beings are fundamentally alike. We embody everything we observe, evaluate, and admire. We internalize all that we perceive, assess, and esteem. Regardless of our skin color or language, we possess the same universal attributes. When a woman scolds her child in public, you might feel certain that you would never act that way. You may judge her harshly. It's easy to believe that such behavior is unacceptable. Yet, if your child were to spill food on your favorite outfit, you might find yourself reacting similarly in front of others. Thus, you too possess the capacity for anger toward a child if you put yourself in her shoes. You are not passing judgment on the person within you. Rather, you are assessing the qualities. We should be cautious in doing so. You are not the same individual, but you possess the same impatience and intolerance that she revealed in that situation. You say you are not a murderer, a thief, a prostitute, an abuser, etc. You are not. But you may find yourself in the same situation if the circumstances demand it. You have the potential to show these qualities. For example, if someone tries to harm you and your family, you could do unimaginable things. It's easy to fantasize about killing someone, but how can one human being kill another human being mercilessly for no reason at all? You may have no desire to kill, but if you were locked in a room for 10 years and beaten every day, would you be able to kill someone in cold blood? The answer is yes. That does not make killing acceptable, but it shows that you can really embrace the possibility of being like everyone else. Judging and blaming another person is easy, but when we put ourselves in their shoes and empathize with them, we can understand them better. And instead of excluding them from society, we can give them a helping hand. We can also evaluate drunkards, drug addicts, uncooperative and problematic homosexuals in society on this platform and bring them into society through empathy. Remember, it is not whether you have a certain characteristic of the person we are judging, but whether you can exhibit that characteristic under different circumstances. If you come across someone who acts arrogant and loves to spread gossip, it is important to refrain from judging them. Remember that you too have the potential to exhibit similar traits. By being more conscious and aware, you may realize that you might already be engaging in similar behavior. Sometimes we tend to declare that we would never participate in certain actions as we find them disturbing. However, when we point an accusing finger at someone else, we often forget that 3 fingers are pointing right back at us. This serves as a reminder that when we blame others, we are actually reflecting on one of our own qualities. Let us remember here the hadith, "Do not condemn anyone, you will not die unless you live what you condemn." Now, I would like to present you with a few exercises. This is exercise number 1. Write down the 5 words that you find most difficult to embrace. Sit across from a friend who accepts you in every way. You are going to practice mirroring exercises together. One of the phrases that causes a strong response in me is when I become critical and judgmental. Look your partner in the eye and say, "You are critical and judgmental." I say again, "I am critical and judgmental." And he repeats, "You are critical and judgmental." I say, "I am critical and judgmental." This process should be continued to the point where it doesn't matter anymore whether I am critical and judgmental or you are saying that to me. Just saying these words out loud again and again and again, over and over again, is the resistance that we have to being called by that word and having that quality. Hope you understand, because this is important. Now, let's engage in a different exercise. Position yourself in front of a mirror and, as an example, repeatedly utter the phrase, "I am lacking competence." Proceed to reiterate this statement until its energy slowly diminishes. Those who have chosen to embrace a certain quality will undoubtedly discover success in this particular exercise. If you get stuck and you feel anger at someone who has exhibited this trait, or you feel angry at yourself for having this trait, we will try something different. You can step away from the mirror, sit down somewhere, and write a hate letter to this trait. It is healthy to express anger in this way. Only you will see these letters, so don't be shy. Start with, "I'm angry with you because," and then write as fast as you can without even thinking about it. For instance, "Oh, critical and judgmental aspect of myself. I am filled with anger towards you for disrupting my life and making me unhappy. Your presence has led me to criticize others relentlessly, making it difficult to find a friend without faults, and has eroded my ability to trust. It was my critical and judgmental nature that fueled my distrust of others. My negative outlook on events nourished this trait and led me to become a suspicion and backbiting person. This is all life experience. I've decided to move on and refrain from such behavior." Yes, we will concentrate on releasing pent-up emotions and toxins. This exercise serves as a method for expelling the toxic emotions accumulated in our bodies. Should emotions surface during this process, allow yourself to experience them. You might struggle to voice the words you've previously criticized severely. Persist with the process, even if it brings you to tears. Eventually, you'll come to understand that the energy of the word can spontaneously discharge just like that. In other words, the energy charge associated with that word will be released instantaneously. However, if you hold on to these annoyances, you'll find yourself repeating the same mistakes and errors. Now, let's attempt another example, shall we? With the same set of words we previously assembled, let's recall a moment from your personal history where you displayed that particular attribute. If you cannot remember a time when you exhibited that characteristic, then ask yourself under what circumstances you would exhibit that trait. Can someone else say that you exhibit this characteristic? After each word, write down the correspondences you arrive at. Now, as the fourth point, approach a person who you deeply admire and consider as highly significant, and inquire about how your hidden, less desirable qualities are seen as beneficial to them. Inquire from a teacher or friend about the offering of an individual with a critical and judgmental nature. He tells me that your determination to execute everything flawlessly without allowing criticism or judgment has led to your success. Your attention to detail in all your endeavors has resulted in outstanding work and significant achievements in your career. Every human being should have a margin for error, right? Indeed, as we identify our shortcomings, we simultaneously discover the positives that have emerged from these negatives. This understanding fosters a better relationship with ourselves. For instance, on the fifth crucial point, maintaining a daily diary is recommended. It's significant to keep a diary and give it due attention. Should any negative events occur throughout the day, it's advised to jot them down on a single A4 sheet of paper, repeatedly writing them out as a form of release. Will you become angry, raise your voice, or use harsh words? What would you express? By observing, contemplating, and experiencing, you do what you claim. Write it down on that piece of paper. Then, take that paper, rip it into pieces, tear it up, and discard it. This is negative emotional discharge. Afterward, embody the state you aspire to be in, and continue to record those uplifting, wonderful suggestions in your diary using affirmative sentences. Employ these sentences exclusively in the present tense and simple present, as the subconscious mind is more receptive to suggestions phrased in these tenses. For instance, as a positive affirmation after releasing her anger, she might write, I am someone who approaches situations with calmness, constructiveness, consistency, balance, and positivity. God willing, I can do this. God's willing, I am strong. I have faith in myself and in my choices. I recognize my worth and significance, and I love and affirm myself for who I am. I feel the presence of my God's love and power within me, which empowers me to achieve anything. With my God by my side, I am able to conquer any form of hardship, trouble, or hurdle that comes my way, regardless of its nature or complexity. Let's say them, write them, shout them, call them, and internalize them repeatedly until they become a part of us. Yes, the individual is in the anger release phase and needs to vent the negative emotions that have built up from past experiences. In an attempt to avoid becoming the worst person she could have, she vents his frustration by fiercely thrashing the pillows with a stick until her anger is completely released. She may even go as far as ripping them apart to let out all the frustration. While venting her frustration, she may choose to shout and scream as loudly as possible in the mountains or in any place where she is unheard. After releasing her anger through tears, she begins to pray to God, seeking solace. For instance, how might she craft heartfelt prayers? O Lord, for the sake of the Holy Prophet, for the sake of the Ismi Azams, for the sake of the Quran and other holy books, for the sake of all the other prophets you have sent, for the sake of all the great angels and other angels, for the sake of the holy places, Kaaba-i Mu'azzama, Medina-i Munawwara, Masjid-i Aqsa, for the sake of all the Ahliya Kiram, for the sake of all those who you loved most, for the sake of all the beings you have created, please forgive me. Accept me as your servant. You are the owner of the everything. Help me to keep the trust you have given me. Bestow upon me those states of being that will earn your pleasure. Forgive me through your mercy, guide me with your discipline, envelop me in your love, and safeguard me. Dear God, be the mind that thinks within me, the soul that feels. Be the hand that grasps, the eye that observes, the foot that strides, the tongue that articulates, the heart that understands. Manifest yourself in all my being. Do not abandon me to my own devices, nor leave me in solitude with my ego and the devil even for a moment. Grant me the ethics and principles of Prophet Muhammad, the ethics and principles of the Quran. I request the same beauties our beloved Master asked for. O dear God, I seek refuge in you from all the evils that our Master sought refuge in you. Bestow upon me the honor of being a human worthy of our Master and a servant deserving of your grace. Grant me the advocacy of our Master and your compassion. Purge my heart of all forms, pride, arrogance, vanity, gossip, envy, slander, materialism, jealousy, every kind of negativity. Purify me, God. Instill in me good morals and guide me to use all my limbs in your path. May they bear witness for me in the hereafter, not against me. Conceal my sins, flaws, and all that I am ashamed of for the sake of your name, Setter. Welcome me as a guest under your name, Lafbar, and grant me forgiveness by your merciful name, O Lord. Let my forehead and face shine with honor before the assembly on Judgment Day. I pray that you make me and my descendants devout servants of Islam. Allow me to live in faith and depart this life in faith. Bestow upon me lawful provision, beneficial knowledge, and righteous actions. And at my final breath, let me utter the testimony of faith, that I may be blessed with the gardens of Firdaus, and behold your majestic presence there, O Lord. Inshallah, as we cleanse ourselves of negativity, we shall cultivate an abundance of positivity. Through these heartfelt positive prayers, inshallah, we shall continually dwell in the realms of our Lord's mercy. Inshallah, you continue to find solace in these beautiful prayers. Have a pleasant day.